There's a close-up of Todd.
West Virginia's finest.
Yeah. Here's one of Dad. I love that. He had so much fun. He was the biggest kid you've ever known. Opening day of trout season in Pennsylvania. Always a very exciting time. 1983, I remember going out to this place, Clear Creek, out in just north of Clarion, Pennsylvania, and there's a place there, the pump station. And my Uncle Dean took me there with my dad, and we had never caught a trout before. And I remember catching my first trout on opening day, and it hooked me. Then every year after that, we would all go to the same place. We learned you had to get there early. You know what it's like in Pennsylvania if you're there. And we would catch a few trout. We would hardly ever catch our limit those early years because we didn't know light line, no small hooks. We didn't know how to be stealthy with trout. But I'll never forget the first year after I'd gone off to college. I met Todd. We started making lures. I hadn't gone back to Pennsylvania in years. And I go back. This would have been probably in the 90s, probably late 90s, 97, 98. I think it might have been in the spring of 98, April. I go back for the first time. The Trout Magnet has just come out, but nobody knows what it is. And even my own family didn't even know what it was. I remember Dad asking more about it as I went back to Pennsylvania. We go to the pump station like we had always gone to before. And I get there early. I get our spot that we always had. My uncles are there, my Uncle Dean, my Uncle Jim. I think Uncle Eddie was there. Tony was there, and then my dad and myself and Todd. And so we started out with the Trout Magnet, and it was ugly. It was so ugly. We were just every cast catching trout. I started letting them go because at the time I think the limit might have been 7. I don't remember exactly. I know it was 7 or 8. And we started letting them go. And I remember my uncles getting mad because they weren't catching them. They had the yellow line that I used to use years ago, right? And here we were using Trout Magnets for the first time, and we just smoked them. In fact, I got a picture here of my dad with a bunch of the fish from one of those days. I think it might have been that year, but it might have been the next year because we went back and did it again. But one of the funniest things that happened was we fished that day, and I didn't keep very many. We were just letting them go, and we would always go to eat as a family, and my relatives would have different things to eat. We ate. Opening day of trout season in Pennsylvania is a party. And you just go and have a great time with friends and family, and you catch fish. And so anyways, but after we got done, we went to a place I'd never been to before. If you're from Pennsylvania, you've probably heard of this place. It's Lolita. I forget the name of the stream, but there's a big dam there where the water goes over, and right above it, there's a place where you can walk across, and the stream above it is real shallow and narrow. On the other side, as we walked across, Todd and I looked, and there's these 2 giant brook trout laying just off the bank, 10 or 15 feet. And there was a couple guys sitting right there, and you couldn't fish from this side. So we thought, we'll just watch them and wait for a little bit. And we ended up watching them for quite a while, and those fish weren't going to eat. And there was a couple small ones just off to the side of them. But those 2 big ones were just laying there, and you could tell they were brook trout. The water was so clear. So anyways, Todd and I are doing something, and the guys go, hey, you guys going to leave? Because we started to leave, and we're like, oh, yeah, we're going to see if you were going to, if you were done yet. And since you're not, we're just going to go ahead and go. And like, no, let it. You guys try it. We can't catch them. Todd and I sat down, and now to the day I die, I'll never forget the look on these guys' face. Those 2 brook trout are laying out there. Todd makes a cast, catches the first one. I make the second cast, catch the second one, back to back on a white Trout Magnet, and those guys lost it. They lost it. Like, what is this lure you're talking about now? It got real serious real quick on what a Trout Magnet was. And so I started giving, they followed us out to the car to get some stuff. It was really funny. But those were 20, one was 20 and a half inches and one was 20 inches. It was a brook trout. Those memories are so vivid to me. And I know if you fish Pennsylvania, you've got those days that you just remember catching those fish. I mean, that's 40 years ago now that when I caught my first trout. So it's crazy to think the memories that you get to create for opening day. I hope you guys have a group of friends you go out and fish with, and I hope our products are a part of that. The Trout Magnet system is pretty easy to use in that environment. A lot of times in those small streams, a Trout Magnet underneath an easy trout float's hard to beat. On our webpage, you got the bundle, which has all of those things in it. It has the Neon Trout Magnet kit, and David just found this. This is a relic. It is the original Neon Trout Magnet kit. This thing's probably 15, 20 years old. It's when we used to use a glass box, and those boxes were really unique and neat, and the colors and everything still looked really good in there for being that old. But if you're looking at our stuff and don't know what to get, obviously the Trout Magnet is the real deal. and it'll catch trout in those streams, very, very well. And light line's the key to a 4-pound test. We have on our webpage and in a lot of stores, the 2-pound SOS is what I use. It's strong enough to catch any fish in those Pennsylvania streams, and it's light enough to let you throw the Trout Magnet very, very far. So that's something that I would get. On the webpage, also some odd colors. Like here's one of Todd's favorite. This is called Cookies and Cream. And so get yourself some good colors of Trout Magnets. The Neon Trout Magnet kit has a lot of the really good colors you need. It's got the colors of bodies you want. But also you can get different color Trout Magnet jig heads, whether it be pink or chartreuse in the Trout Magnet jig heads. And we also now have the eye hole jig where you put your scent inside the eye on a 64th. This is made just to fit the Trout Magnet body. So I would look at these as well. These are going to be a bluegill and crappie killer with that Trout Magnet. Because if you're like me, the Trout Magnet just doesn't catch trout. I use it for a little bit of everything. The last thing I'd tell you is, for years we used marabou jigs. We tied them a little too short. It wasn't until we partnered with D2 that we realized what a trout really likes, and it's the length of the tail. Now this D2 is a 32nd. This 32nd of an ounce falls very slow, but it still has that erratic motion. There's several different colors. Peaches is one of my favorites. We also have some other color. Just straight black is never, nothing wrong with black. Then you have Fire Crawl. This is the one I wanted to show you right here. This is Southern Belle. It's got chartreuse and white and gray. You can see it real good too as you pop it as it comes through the water. And then you have this brown trout. Looks like a baby brown trout. These 132nd D2s would be a killer for those Pennsylvania streams. We hope you're going to find some of our products that help you build some memories like these. I got some time. I remember when Todd and I went up there. Here's him with the original Trout Magnet truck. That's pretty crazy. Then you have Dad with several different stringers of fish we would usually stay for a few days. Then I found this gem. Check out this gem. Bradley Smith.
I'm gonna zoom way in.
On that baby face. And that little baby trout he's holding.
In the awkward hands.
That's great. So many great memories with my relatives opening day of trout season. If you need anything from us, you can order it up until the 1st or 2nd of April, and it'll get to you in time. But I hope you'll find it in a store somewhere. And some of our products can be a part of the great memories that you make on opening day of Pennsylvania in 2024. God bless each of you, and Sir Lip 'em all.